Hello, let's get something straight here. The benefits of teaching internationally for black teachers, especially those coming from Africa, in my opinion, far outweighs the challenges. But sometimes some of these challenges can prevent teachers from any part of the world from teaching abroad in the first place. In this video, I'm going to talk about 7 of the common challenges that black teachers face when teaching abroad and suggest ways of overcoming these challenges. Let's get started. To begin with, let's address the elephant in the room, racism. It is unfortunate that in today's day and age, I do see job postings that require white-skinned teachers. They require teachers to come from certain countries in order to be eligible to apply for certain jobs. Sometimes some employers will tell you point blank that their parents don't want black teachers to teach their children. And when I hear something like this, I'll just thank the employer and then just avoid them, because I believe, the things you need to become a successful teacher has nothing to do with the color of your skin or where you come from. So just avoid these employers, avoid these job postings, and look for employers that care more about your qualifications, your experience, the value you can provide them, the value, how resourceful you can be to the students in the classroom. These are the employers you would have to look out for. One thing you need to understand is that most of these top-tier elite international schools that care more about world-class 21st century education, they care more about the qualifications of their teachers, the experience of their teachers' ability to inspire their students, the value their teachers will provide them. They care more about these things, and they care more about their ability to make work permits and work visas for you than the color of your skin. So I will advise you to work more of the thing. You should work more on the things that are more important. That is the qualifications, the certifications, your experience. And then secondly, you look for such schools that also care more about these qualifications, experience, and certifications. And I'm telling you, you'll find them. You can't say such schools don't exist. If I am to ask you, how many red cars have you counted today? I'm very sure most of you watching me will not be able to give me a definite answer, because you didn't wake up today with the intention of counting red cars. But if you woke up this morning and you had the intention of counting red cars, I'm very sure you would have been able to give me a definite answer to that question. Luck is what happens when preparations meet opportunity. You need to go out there and create your luck. Get these certifications and look for look for the schools that care more about your qualifications and experience rather than the color of your skin or the passport you hold or where you come from. The second thing I would like to talk about is concerns about your accent. I want to state here that your accent is not the problem, but articulation is the problem. That is your ability to pronounce words correctly and audibly. That is something I think you should work on. Learn how to pronounce words correctly and, articulate your message clearly. That is the most important thing you need to, work on when it comes to audibility or when it comes to communication as a black teacher. If anybody is so worried about your accent when you can articulate your concerns clearly, then please walk away from them. Because there is no right accent and there is no wrong accent. In fact, if you are teaching and you are changing your accent to suit your job, then I'm sorry, you are robbing your students of authentic education. These students need to know how a typical black teacher sounds like. They need to know how a black teacher from Africa, from the Caribbean, sounds like. Like I mentioned earlier, you just need to work on your articulation, how you pronounce the words correctly. And if you know you have that right, and an employer says they won't take you because of your accent, please walk away from them. They are not worth your hustle. So your accent is not a problem, but articulation is the problem. Work on that. The third point I would like to talk about is the feeling of being inadequate. I've had a few conversations with some black teachers, and I get the notion that, or sometimes they even tell me that they feel inadequate to teach in the classroom internationally. But this challenge can be overcome if you understand that competence equates confidence. And you can develop your competence if you dedicate some time to develop the different areas of your teaching craft. You develop your content knowledge, that is the subject you are teaching. You learn more about it and you'll be very confident in your subject knowledge. Do professional development in your pedagogy, how you teach, the way you teach, how you differentiate your lessons. You learn more about classroom management, assessment for learning, assessment of learning. You do professional development on communication, developing wholesome relationships with your students, with your colleagues, with your management, with parents, developing, learning more about edtech tools that can enhance your teaching. These are the skills you need to be successful in today's classroom. So when you work on them, it will develop your competence, and that will also increase your confidence. And I'm very sure once you get to a certain level, the feeling of being inadequate will just disappear like most rainfalls in the desert. So please work on your competence, and that will definitely boost your confidence. Challenge number 4 I would like to talk about is unfair pay. Sometimes people complain that their salaries are different from that of the white colleagues that they are working with. I think this is an easy fix. You should know your worth in the market. You should always compare the salaries you are taking to the average person who is teaching with the same qualifications and experience as you in the job market in which you are. If you realize that you are being lowballed, you just confront your managers in a very respectful and professional way. And if you feel like you are being cheated, you just walk away. This is very simple. But you can easily walk away when you know you are competent and you really know your craft. If you know that you have a lot of value to provide any school or any educational center. So once you know that, you will know your worth. And when somebody is trying to pay you below market levels, you will know in the first place, and you wouldn't even go there to begin with. Whatever you do, always make sure you go to places where you are treated the best. I do have friends, and I've had conversations with people who always do visa runs. Visa run is you would have to go out of the country that you are teaching in for some time, and then they give you another entry visa, and then you come back. Normally, people who do visa runs, they do not have work permits and then work visas that allow them to stay in the country for an extended period. And I think this problem can easily be overcome if, before you agree to work with anybody, you understand the documents that you need in order for this work visas and work permits to be made for you. You communicate with the employers or the HR of such schools or education centers that you are willing to work with. Ask them, and you also do your research on the documents you need as an applicant or as a teacher in order for legit work permits and work visas to be done for you. If you don't do this, or if you don't have this adequate document, or if your documents are not intact, you always go on visa run and you will have problems with visas and other documentations. So I think this can easily be fixed by working on yourself and getting all these documents that are required for you to get visas that allow you to stay in your countries for an extended period of time. Whenever you travel out of your home country into a new country, you shouldn't expect to see things done the way it is done in your home country. Cultural shock is real. And I think for anybody to be able to adjust culturally in any foreign country, you need some level of respect. I mean, if you have a decent level of respect in your, overseas country, you'll be able to find out what works in such countries, what is deemed respected or respectful in such countries, in order to avoid being called somebody who has no respect for cultures. So you find out how you can integrate in such cultures. One of the ways you can do that is by learning the language. In most of these overseas countries, when they see you try to learn the language, they will help you, and it will help you to adjust with the culture over there. And sometimes you can also spend some time doing some sports or hobbies with the locals. This can also help you to integrate culturally. And whenever they are having some cultural celebrations, again, you should just act in a respectful manner, and integrating culturally will become very easy for you. So this shouldn't be a challenge, but sometimes some people find it as a huge challenge adapting to different cultures. So yeah, the last challenge I'd like to talk about is your mental health. Obviously, when you travel overseas to work, most people do suffer from isolation and homesickness. A few ways to overcome this is always be in constant contact with your family and friends back home via some social media apps like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram. Always be in contact with them, call them on video, hear their voices, and that can help you alleviate some of your loneliness. Or you can develop a new skill, you can learn a new skill. During COVID, I was able to learn some few guitar chords, and I was able to play some few songs on my guitar. And that can, take your mind off you thinking about your loved ones and, your family. And then also you can develop a side hustle, like creating a YouTube channel, putting out content over there that's content which is beneficial to people, content which is of value to people. And I think you finding meaning this way can alleviate your loneliness overseas. And then also, just provide a helping hand to people who need help around you. You have no idea the number of people who need help around you in your new countries. Just look for such people, provide a helping hand, and that can help you solve your mental health issues. So these are the 7 challenges I believe most Black teachers face overseas. Is there any particular challenge you are dealing with right now? Or is there any particular challenge that I overlooked? I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section. And I really appreciate you watching the video up to this point. I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye. Peace.